Peace. Happy now. I was gonna make it a thing fast, but I had this herb in my hand. I couldn't, I wasn't thinking fast, so I would be being non-authentic to make this a thing fast if I really wasn't thinking fast. But I did want to use the herb as a prop, in essence, to personify how the divine feminine, like Rastafari, our DNA, in essence, opening up to Rastafari, and those of us who resonate with that energy, we are like the gatekeepers. You know how everybody got the line at their fence, like the two little lines at their fence, or like on their porch or whatever. Sitting like the Sphinx. We are the gatekeepers and protectors of that divine feminine energy. Because guess what? On some Freemasonry stuff, the porch is made to represent the female's yoni, walking through the front door, and those pillars in front of the front door, to make that porch, it's like the vaginal lips, what I'm saying? You're walking through those, entering those doors. That's why symbolically, when the police search without seizure and all that, that's kind of like a personification of rape, in essence. Y'all gotta think about it. Divine feminine energy is not just a human being. It doesn't move just through a human being. It's in the feng shui of a house, what I'm saying? In the essence of those cops, like I say, doing that's, messing with that energy. But again, you see the symbolism. So the lines are at the beginning, of those porches of a house, of a gate, what I'm saying? As those gatekeepers and protectors. Rastafari, embrace what? We embrace the herbs. The herbs activate and stimulate the right side of the brain, the feminine side of the brain, the artistic side of the brain, what I'm saying? So with the smoking of herb, that always have you on that right side feminine vibration. As well with the connection to the Lyran beings. The Lyran beings are the eldest beings, lion or, feline or cat-like beings. These beings was where the segment divine feminine energy comes from, what I'm saying? It basically had, it was a type of, how can I say, type of family or situation. I don't want to use the word government, but where the feminine energy was over things, but you see all those connections, Haile Selassie being born on the day that the Leo constellation starts on, being extension from King Solomon's temple, which is a personification of the body, Queen of Sheba, again, Solomon's temple is the body, and the Freemasonry story starts from Solomon's temple, building that temple up in Harem Abiff. And so again, you see the symbology again with the house and, the temple, the body, the lions being the protectors, and that, and basically, Haile Selassie Rastafari is an extension of that lineage, that Leo constellation. Matter of fact, Ras Elise. Matter of fact, and they playing that Marcus. I forgot whose song that is. But that Ras Elise is a star up in a Leo constellation. Ras is head. Ras and Tafari was the name of Haile Selassie before it turned into Haile Selassie. You see all the connections. But again, back to the Lyran people and the Sphinx, what the Sphinx does, it guards knowledge. You have to have like a riddle or knowledge, a certain answer to something to get the knowledge from the Sphinx, guardian and protector of that knowledge, And you start to see how much Rastafari don't seem too crazy, and which is still not to get on no ego, or which of course just by being in our bodies, of course we're identifying with something to a certain extent, but not getting lost in it. But I was gonna say, it's not about who's more right, who's more wrong, or this and that, because there's no necessarily right or wrong technically, but just where the information line up, Rastafari, the herb smoke, you know, the dreadlocks for the antennas. You know, you had the situation where they cut those Indians' hair, where they did a project, I think it was with the CIA or something, and those Indians couldn't find their way around and couldn't map their way around because you know, with their hair being cut and then had them antennas. So you see a connection with the dreads, you know, or with the locks, I should say, because the dreads is coming from them dreading the locks, you know. But you know, the herb smoke, you know, giving thanks and praise with the herb, you know, to connecting to that divine feminine energy, you know. But it's not about just sitting around smoking herb, you know. These are all symbols to wake us up to remember that we are protectors of the divine feminine as well, you know, and to be like that lion, masculine and strong, but also protecting that divine energy, you know. That's what it's about, you know. And all of it line up, you start to see the lion, matter of fact, the lion's mane, you know, being like a, you know, a lion, you know, all that is a connection, you know. But you start to see like, oh, matter of fact, what it is, Krishna and Vishnu and all them, like oh, is it Shiva? One of them used to wear like a lion skin or tiger skin, you know. And I did a video, I don't know if I'm gonna post it before or after this one, but speaking on our anatomy and how our spinal cord is a connection from the Arcturian bloodline, the bird being the connection with the feathers to the crown chakra, you know, and then the reptilian serpent part as far as the reptilian brain, and then the connection to the kundalini up the spine. You know, you got the Lyran agility and lineage through the ancient melanated people. You know, I spoke on how to, you know, moving like that cat-like, you know, agility, you know, like, but all that's a lineage from our star ancestors and ourselves in essence, you know. And there's so much layers to our stories, you know. That's another thing. When I'm explaining these stories, understand that this is a certain truth to an extremely much larger story that also has to deal with timeline manipulation, where different timelines go into this, you know, one story in essence, you know. Like, there's so many layers to it. So, you know, always keep that in mind and stay flexible like water. If you ever feel like you're strong and stern on a certain little aspect, unless you just know it's spirit having you to, you know, have that notion, then you being in your ego, you're being a little stubborn and set, you know, in a way it's getting too comfortable in a certain way of thinking, you know. So just always remember to stay, you know, fluent like water, you know, moving, you know, divine feminine energy again. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Matter of fact, I hope the noise didn't mess up the video. I tried my best, but you know, we'll see. Peace, y'all.